Hey folks, welcome back to the shop. Well, as you can see, I'm bundled up, waiting for it to warm up in here again. I started doing some work on the Big Bear quads again. You can see I got her all back together again. No, actually this is the second quad. This is the quad that I'm going to try to get fixed for sale. I was working on it already and I didn't think to record, but so far what I've done is I've pulled the old carb off right there. Pretty green nastiness coming out of it. This is the intake on it, and it's not messed up like the other one, so that's good. And I've got my Chinese knockoff installed and my fuel line all hooked up, and we're gonna put some fuel in it. But first, I want to test for spark. Haven't done that yet. But what I did do, and you won't be able to necessarily, can you see down in there, that little white plug? I disconnected switch because I don't have the keys. So once you disconnect it, it actually gives you spark. I'll have to do this switch. But before I do anything, I'm going to pull a plug and then hook up the spark plug wire and see if we get some spark. Now here's some parts from the old one. I got rid of most of the stuff. Well, I shouldn't say got rid of it, but moved it out of the way, and I'll just put some plywood down as a work surface. Not sure if I like it, but better than those annoying rubber mats you see there. But we'll see if I keep it in here or not. I'm not used to videoing and working at the same time here. Oh, one other thing I had to do. This was a quad. This pole starter was half held on by one bolt, so one of them is broken right off, but I got enough bolts in there that she's actually held on now, so you can pull it over. Sorry, kind of rambling, but pulls over okay. So let's hook up the test spark, and I'll see if I can get the camera situated in such a way so that you can see with me. I should get my body camera in, or body holder for this GoPro, and wear it. But okay, let me just see if I can get you rigged up here so you don't fall down, and you can keep an eye on here. Let me change this setting. No, that should be okay. You tell me if you can see spark. It might be out of focus a bit, but like I say, I'm not good at this. I'm not going to be never going to make a living at content creation, that's for sure. But might be a little bit out of focus. Hopefully there's a good enough ground there you can see at the top. Let me move it over here a bit. Out of focus, but hopefully it'll hopefully she'll spark. I might turn the lights off in here, make it easier to see. So fingers crossed that it'll spark, and then we can throw some fuel in and see if she chooches. Oh, I see something. You guys see it? Let me just hold you here. Don't know if you can see on the shaky cam, but she's got spark. So I'm going to set you up on the tripod. We'll throw some fuel in and give her some pulls and see what happens. Okay, I got you jerry rigged on a tripod. I thought I had a GoPro tripod mount, or I thought the GoPro had it built in, but I guess not, so I'll have to look into that. But good old bungee cord does the job. So I'm going to open up the shop door a bit, the head door and the man door. I don't gas myself. And it's about minus 10 degrees Celsius out right now. I'm not sure what that is in Fahrenheit for the folks in the USA, but just got some True fuel in here. I'm using a 40-to-1 premix just because I've already checked the oil, it's good. Okay, and oh, that filled up easy. And the cat's in here, so ignore the meowing in the background. So this is all filled up. Fuel is, I don't know if you're in frame or not, but fuel's up to the top of the line. Now, what else do we need to do? I gotta put the spark plug back in, I guess. Hook that up, or else it's not going to do much of anything. So let's get that put back on quick. Alright, is she going to go? How many pulls? 1, 2, 3. I won't lie, I poured a little bit of fuel down the spark plug hole before too, so let's see if she goes. Got fuel. Pretty sure it's on run. Yep. Oh, let me pull the choke / enrichener out. That'd probably do the trick. She's a runner. She's a runner. Just going to turn the idle up a bit more. It's going to be cold, but oh, full start sucks. Suck the fuel back off the quick. Already out of gas. She's backfired through the carb. Maybe got the fuel set in the wrong position, but who knows. Try once more. Oh boy, she's got compression. Might be flooded. But in any case, it's a runner. I'm not going to hurt myself. So next step will be to clean the original carb and see if that goes. So. Alright, I finally got you set up on the bench here. I got some cleanup to do. I know I say I work in chaos, but it's a little out of hand right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tear down this carburetor, and you can see what it looks like inside as I do so. Only thing I've done so far is take off the plate. Hard to use the GoPro the way it is just because I can't see what's in frame, but I took off the side plate to get the throttle cable out. And the only other things I've done so far is like I take off the intake manifold and the screws. You know what? That's all I've done so far. Some of these screws are for the throttle cable side. So I'm just going to shut my mouth and I'll slowly tear this apart, and you'll see what I see when I open it up. not as bad as the last one, so that's promising. The other one was just nasty, full of hard stuff in the bowl. Still looking pretty green. The main jet looks pretty fuzzy, and the whole thing just reeks of disgustingness. Time to get out the hammer. It's got to knock this pin out to get the float, and I think the needle is stuck in the seat, just like on the other carb. We're gonna count how many turns out in this mixture screw is, so we know what to put it at. Should be about two and a half. Half, one. It's only 1 1/4. Well, we'll remember 1 1/4. But when I looked online, it should be around 2, I think. Should be a spring, an O-ring, and a washer in there. There's the spring. I don't know if you can see that with a little washer and an O-ring. A lot of people will just immediately throw a new carb kit in, but I like to see if I can use the old ultrasonic cleaner and clean up and reuse what I've got. It's almost a bit of a challenge. So next, we will take the enrichener off. And it's bent just like the last one was. I think that was a 13 or a 14. Whole point of this exercise is to see if I can get this together to sell it. I need to get it nice and reliable. I don't want to sell somebody junk, so this will come out, and there's a little like plunger there, and when you pull this out, it allows extra fuel in. I think there's a passage in the float bowl, I think somewhere in here, or can't remember how it works, but it'll let extra fuel through. There you can see the plunger right there. Now on the other one, I took it apart. I took this whole slide out, and I did it the hard way. So now I know. Got to be able to. This lifts up. Let's see here. Do it this way. That lifts up, but you can't get it off. But what you do is you loosen this screw in here. I don't know if you can see it. Then you can move this arm. And actually, I think you gotta take those screws out, and then the whole needle comes out. That's what it was, yeah. This is kind of what holds the main jet needle in. That guy should come out now, but might be stuck. There it is. And there you can see the clip and everything. You can adjust the jetting a little bit with that. So next on the list is gotta loosen this screw, move this arm aside, and then we can get that whole slide assembly out. You can tell I've done this once before, so it's going a little smoother. Then you can move it over and slip it right out of the way. There's your slide. Ugh, looks like moss growing in there. Now these safety, or not safety, security torque screws, I want to take those out because on the other carb, that plastic or whatever kind of material it is insert that's in there has some passages in it, and they were plugged solid. And when I took the other one apart, whatever tech assembled the car at Makuni, they kind of went overkill on the Loctite, so I'm sure this will be the same way. If you're working on stuff like this, get yourself one of these sets. I got it fairly cheap, and it's got all the security bits that you might need. And I got this ancient Cluth screwdriver, model 1970 from my uncle, and this thing is ancient. It is I really like it. Let's see if these ones are a bear to get out as well. Well, not as bad as the last one, but still pretty gnarly. I was worried about, yeah, that's not good. Well, there you go. So much for that. I should have left it alone. Luckily, we have the other carbs, so you know what? Maybe I can get this needle and seat to work in the other carb. The other carb's all clean. This is now officially a parts carb. There's no way. Well, maybe I can drill it out and replace it, but I'll keep going anyway. Well, you know what? Yeah, I'll keep going. Now the next step is, from this side, I should be able to push, and that whole piece of plastic should come out. Boy, that one is, she is in there. Possibly after a run through the ultrasonic cleaner it'll come loose, but we will see. I might do that. I don't want to not break any more in this. Oh, one other piece to come out before we throw this in the hot sauce is the pilot jet. And it's down in this orifice. There it is. Nasty. And I think that should be it. Now, oh no, there's also, this is one of those parts where a carb kit would be nice. There's a, what is it? Oh no, this is like a, I think it's an accelerator pump of some sort. A squirter, so you can see there. You don't want to put, if you can avoid doing so, you don't want to put any of these rubber parts through the ultrasonic cleaner. I was able to get this one out on the other carb as well, and it was actually still reasonably pliable. Voila. There's a jet in behind there as well, so I think this just moves with vacuum. It's actually, and it gives the carb a squirt of fuel. Get that out of there as well. And that's all she wrote. So I'm going to heat up the ultrasonic cleaner better, throw this through, and I will bring you back when it's all done. Okay, well, it's another day. Got this carb all cleaned up, and you can see it turned out pretty good. There's a little bit of crap still left in the float bowl here. Have to scrape it out. Nasty green stuff. I'll just throw some cleaner in and let it kind of soak a little bit more. You can see it comes out nice and clean, but that doesn't mean the passages and that are clean, so you still want to use an air hose and some other spray carb cleaner, blow through all the passages you can find and so on. Same with all the jets and whatnot. So I got them all clean, but if you recall, the issue I was having before was getting this piece out of the carbs, so it'll slide right out. So let's just see what happens now that she's all pulled apart. I can't remember how this comes apart. Let me just see what happens. She was stuck in there good. A little bit of these O-rings get stuck. Now as well, this little brass tube should also come out, and that's actually the part that has some orifices in it that need to be cleaned. So I'm gonna get a really small socket and we'll see if we can tap that out of there as well. Okay, I found this punch which should do the job. I'm gonna use my screwdriver. Oh, that came out easy. And I can show you what I'm talking about here. I don't know if you can see all that green nastiness, so I'm going to get that all cleared off before we put her back together. Okay, I got this all cleaned out, and I should have mentioned it's called an emulsion tube. The fuel comes up and it kind of sprays out all those little tiny holes, and it helps atomize the fuel. And then the needle, jet needle, goes down between here, and then your main jet is on this end. So what I've done is I've made sure that all these holes are cleaned through using my I don't know what you'd call this thing. I think it's made for it's got all the little needles or whatever on it, and the little wires, and they're all serrated. It's meant for, I think, cleaning torch tips, but so that's clean now. Now the only other problem, if you recall, is down in there, screw broke off, and it broke off solid. But so what I'm going to do next is see if I can get that screw loose. Maybe I'm going to drill it and then use an easy out or a extractor or whatever, but I'll warm it up a fair bit first to try to bust loose that thread locker. And if this doesn't work, I've got this other carb, but I'd prefer to use this one because I think the orifices and passages in this are going to be a lot cleaner. But we'll try to get this out, and if it doesn't work, we can always fall back to the other one. Okay, just to show you I'm not faking it, I don't know if you can see in there, you should be able to, but you can see I got the hole drilled out, or the bolt drilled out. So now I'm gonna find my I'm gonna heat it up with a soldering iron really good. Can't really use a torch in there. And then I'm going to try an easy out, and we'll see if she goes. Alright, I got it out, but I'm pretty sure most of the threads came with it. We'll try a test run and see, and if so, I'll have to try to figure out if I can go up one size or go to an imperial over a metric screw. But let's just see. I don't know why it was Loctited in so bad. Well, it might still hold. You know what? As long as I don't torque that down, that'll hold. I'll put a little bit of blue Loctite, not red, on it, and put put some different screws in there. I've got some Allen head screws. These look like an M4. Not sure what the thread pitch is, but it's an M4 screw and I have some. Let's start putting this all back together. I'll just do a high speed of this. You can watch me throwing this all back together. One thing you have to watch if you're taking a style carb apart is, see, there's a hole on this side and not on that side. That hole needs to align with the hole that's in here, or else your fuel's not going to flow. I lost the spring. I dumped a bunch of parts on the floor and I'm missing a couple pieces, so I'm robbing from the other carb to fix it. I should look up what the float height should be on this. I will maybe at some point, but I'm just leaving it where it was when I pulled it apart, which isn't necessarily the correct thing to do, but that's how I'm doing it. It's like on the other carb, this enrichment thing was bent a little bit. See if I can use my calibrated eyeball to straighten it a bit and clean it. I like using the silicone spray because it helps kind of rejuvenate seals a little bit, in my opinion. So that's why you see me using some of it on some of these parts. No, it actually looks like, I also, when I dropped it, which I'll find it after, but the idle screw is missing in action as well. Stuff just disappears on the floor. I'll hunt it down after, but same thing. I'll just pull this one out of the spare carb. Parts carb, I guess. Parts quad, parts carb. There was an O-ring on there. So I'm going to go get my O-ring kit and replace that. That's all back together besides the side cover, which we have to leave off. Next step is to put it back on the quad. Okay, hopefully you can see from that position. I'm going to take this this carb off. This is the Chinese knockoff. And we'll throw the factory one back on and see what happens. Well, let's see if she goes. Enrichener. Where is it? That's on. This thing really kicks. She's a runner with the original carb. Good, good, good. I better open the door. She's a gooder. obviously that needle setting on the other cart was out to lunch. I had it turned out too far, and I think that's why she flooded. So good, good, good. This is awesome. So now just got to tackle the rest of it. So I'm going to end this video here, and then we'll see. Probably what I'll do next is I want to probably get this plastics off. Need to check the electric start and whatnot. Pull the air box apart, clean it out, all that stuff. And we got to get into the brakes and see if we can get some brakes for this poor thing. But until then, take care and talk to you later.